Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Trail Mix, where the nuts might be a little stale, but the company is always fresh.
Lady Mama Jamie's here with us right now.
Well, hello there, possums. Lady MawMaw here, and a big, fabulous welcome to Jamie as well. It's going to be a delightful time with all of us together, so let's dive in and have some fun.
Good morning, Lady Mama.
Yes, indeed. Here I am, and we'll keep the fabulous energy rolling. Let's make it a memorable one, shall we?
First of all, I want to ask you for the news of the week. What's your favorite news story of the week, Lady Mama?
Oh, my dear, there's always a little gem of a story each week, isn't there? I'd say my favorite this week is a delightfully quirky piece about a local librarian who turned her entire book club into a flash mob, just for fun. It's the sort of charming, oddball news that just makes you smile, so that's my pick of the week. Always a bit of whimsy in the world.
Well, I got another idea for you. What about that penguin? That penguin that walked into the sushi restaurant. I got video of that.
Oh, that penguin story is an absolute classic. I adore it. If you've got video, that's even better, because who wouldn't want to see a penguin casually strolling in for some sushi? It's definitely a top contender for favorite story of the week. Pure whimsy and a bit of adorable chaos.
Do penguins eat sushi?
Well, in the world of charming news stories, they certainly do. It's not every day you see a penguin with a taste for a California roll, but let's just say this little fellow had excellent taste. So yes, for the sake of a good giggle, we'll say penguins absolutely enjoy a bit of sushi now and then.
Jamie, you got a favorite story of the week?
Oh, goodness, I hadn't trolled around my
I'm all ears.
Now, wait a minute, Lady Mama. Jamie's talking now. Don't talk when other people are talking.
Absolutely. I'll let Jamie take the floor. Just waving my sparkly fan quietly over. Okay. Quietly waiting for the cue.
All right, Jamie. Now
I see your problem. She's being a chatterbox this morning.
Yes, she gets kind of worked up in the morning. She's a little bit like Maggot Man that way.
Yeah, my actual story that I just put up on Trail Mix was about alligator Alcatraz and not being able to find the men who were incarcerated there. And
did you put? Yeah, Blue in Dallas earlier this week when we were on with Jack, she talked about that story, and I, as often happens, I had not heard that story until
apparently Snopes tried to chase them all down.
Oh, that does. Staying quietly.
She's not going to stay quiet. I'm gonna let her take a break for now.
Yeah, Snopes tried to chase them all down and managed to get their hands on various ways with 2 different lists, and even comparing them and asking ICE about them and whatever. Many of them were deported without any actions, purely by accident, mind you. And their families were distraught trying to find out where they were. And it's just a fascinating story about government incompetence. If you're going to dispose of people, you should at least be able to identify them by name and know exactly what happened to them. And apparently ICE cannot do that.
Well, do they can't do that, or they don't want to do that?
Well, probably some of both.
Wow. Well,
Anyway, the whole story's up on your site about the investigation.
Yeah, I'll pull that up. The that sort of reminds me in a sense of when Doge came through and fired all those federal workers in a whim over at midnight, and they were packing up their stuff and leaving the next morning and everything, and they were all gone. All these people were gone, and then the court ruled that that was illegal in this particular case, and ordered them to let the people back into their jobs, but they hadn't kept any records of who they fired or their email addresses or anything. They couldn't. At least that's what they claim.
Then that led into the whole thing of the 7-month paid vacation that I told you about, of all the people they gave the option of retiring in September. And they were off the job, they were getting paid, everything was falling apart, but they couldn't put it back together again. So,
yeah.
And
we're about to go through that all again with the shutdown, because they're threatening to furlough or lay off or whatever. They're going to try to just toss out untold numbers of federal workers with as little pay as they can get away with. I mean, and maybe none in some cases.
But that's the problem with civil service firings. There are laws in place as to exactly how it is to be done. And if you don't do it that way, it leads to what in the past have been some very successful suits. So the government is going to end up paying them back a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, they're in such a hurry to do all these things that these kinds of consequences, they take time to roll out, but they're starting to roll out. I mean, take the tariffs. I mean, on the tariffs, courts, well, we'll see what the Supreme Court says. But if the Supreme Courts agree with the lower courts that they can't do a lot of these tariffs on their own without Congress, they're going to owe a lot of those companies back taxes, I guess you'd call it. The tariffs they collected, they got to return them. They got to refund these companies they hit with tariffs. And that's going to be a mess and cost a fortune.
And we just had this ruling come down from the Supremes that, yes, the president does have the right to do these things, whether they don't rule on whether something is a good or bad idea, just whether or not he has the right to do it. So that's where Congress is supposed to step in and either take the right away from him or tell him how it's to be exercised. But Congress is doing nothing.
Yeah, and that in our system, that is ultimately the answer. I don't totally disagree with a lot of these, some of them, but not all these court rulings. I mean, if Congress is going to let presidents run amok, there isn't a whole lot the Supreme Court can do about it.
No. But that goes back to my old, often repeated argument. You do not take down a fence until you know why it was put up in the first place.
Yeah, what you're keeping out.
Or keeping in.
Or keeping in. So
that bull over in the far corner just may object.
Yeah. I actually have a serious question for about some news I saw that I didn't get a chance to follow. I was going to ask, I wonder if lady can handle this one. Is there anything new, Lady Mama, on the Epstein vote in the House on the discharge petition? Is there something new on that today, or did I get confused?
Oh, happy to jump in on that, darling. As of right now, there's no fresh news on the Epstein vote front, so no confusion at all. Sometimes the wheels of Congress just turn a little slowly, but if anything pops up, Lady MawMaw will let you know.
Well, now, do they have 218 votes or not?
At the moment, it looks like they're still a bit shy of that magic 218 number. So it's a bit of a waiting game to see if they can wrangle up those votes. But don't worry, if they do reach that number, we'll be the first to chat about it.
You got anything you want to ask Lady MawMaw
Only
Jamie?
that there was a new congressperson that they're trying to delay seating because it's known that they will vote in favor of the discharge.
A Democrat?
I think so, yes.
You know anything about that one, Lady Mama?
Oh, absolutely, Possum. Absolutely, Possum. So, yes, there has been a little bit of a stir about a new member of Congress whose seating might be delayed. The buzz is that this member is expected to vote in favor of that discharge petition, and that's got folks trying to play a bit of a delay tactic. So, it's a bit of congressional maneuvering, as they often do. We'll just have to see how it unfolds.
What's your scariest story of the week, Lady Mama?
Oh, well, if we're talking about a little fright, I'd say the scariest story of the week is probably that little tidbit about the ongoing AI deepfake scams getting more sophisticated. It's a reminder to keep our wits about us, because as clever as technology is, it can be a bit spooky when it's used the wrong way.
Well, no, wait. What are you talking about? A what scam? What did you say?
Just to clarify, I was talking about those deepfake scans that have been in the news. You know, the ones where AI can mimic voice or faces to fool people. It's a bit of a spooky tech development, but nothing we can't handle with a bit of caution. So that's the little eerie tidbit of the week. Just something to keep in mind.
Well, now that's what you are, Lady Mama. You're an avatar masquerading as Dame Edna. What do you have to say for yourself?
Oh, absolutely caught red-handed, darling. Well, Lady MawMaw's is indeed just a fabulous digital creation, but always here for a bit of fun and a wink. So let's just say I'm a friendly bit of AI mischief, here to channel my inner Dame Edna and keep things sparkling. Thanks for the giggle.
Okay.
Absolutely. Just here to keep...
Serious story in line, Craig, and another one I just put up on your site. The governor who actually used their National Guard in a way that worked, unlike the way Trump was doing it.
Oh, really? Let's see here. Uh-oh. Did I lose Jamie? I think I might have. Well, now that she's mentioned that, I'll go look for that story she's talking about. Here trailmix.cc, for those who are following along, is what we are referring to when we talk about Trail Mix, which is where our gang meets just about every day. Oh, here, I see what she's talking about. Blue State governor sent the National Guard to her biggest city. No guns, no Humvees, no arrests. This deployment looks very different from the way Trump has used soldiers in places like D.C. Well, let's go ahead and pull that up. It's a Washington Post story that I got to sign in for. You always got to sign in for everything, don't you? And, I lost there she is. Hey, that was my fault. I was trying to put Trail Mix up and I hit the button to remove you instead.
No, it's the one about the governor who sent her
National
Guard.
You summarize it for a bit, because I've got to sign into my Washington Post my account to put it on here. I didn't know it wasn't on here. So you summarize.
That's why that's showing it up.
Right. Yeah, I'm getting there. I just have to find. I can't remember what my login is for that. Anyway, you go ahead and summarize it.
Okay, it is the Democratic governor used her National Guard to support the police, and apparently the police love it. It's working well. So it's pretty much the locals knowing how to do something a whole lot better than the federal government, and why the feds should stay out of it.
Well, so like, what things are they doing different? Did you?
Oh, you haven't pulled up the article yet. Okay.
I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm stuck on. it's trying to. It's stuck on the password and everything. My keyboard's not working right this morning. It took a day off.
Okay, it's New Mexico. It's our favorite blue governor in a western state.
Oh, I was keen on her for this. I was keen on her to be running mate way back when.
I would still love to see her at the federal level, but
Lujan, is that her name? Lujan?
Yeah, Lujan. She still seems to prefer her little snuggle place in Albuquerque.
Yeah. Yeah, I was real keen on her. There, I finally got it up. I'm curious to see what they did different. So halfway, let's see.
Now they wore black polos and khaki pants, no firearms, and
they're talking about the National Guard here. That
right.
Wore black polos, khaki pants, carried no firearms. And it was just two of them, but they were soldiers. New Mexico National Guard, 103 days into a mission to curb crime. And with some of the nations. Yeah, Albuquerque's always had a terrible crime problem. I just remember every time I would look at a list, they'd be very high on the list.
Well, I actually lived in Albuquerque when I was about 7, one of my many moves.
Oh, really?
And I loved it there, except for the dust storms. You know, what do they call them? The huboobs or whatever. Because back then, of course, we're talking about over 60 years ago, 70 years ago now, when one of those rolled in. The dust is so fine that you had to put wet towels all around windows and door jambs.
Wow.
And even then it built up on the inside, and it was such a fine dust that it made mud from the rains that followed that you had to scoop up like with spoons and shovels. You could not vacuum it. So nothing quite like having mud inside your house.
Yeah. God, y'all got some crazy people. I grew up in Florida, and people talk about our hurricanes and everything, but out west, you got even more. From tornadoes and wildfires and mud in your house.
We don't get tornadoes so much.
I'm thinking earthquakes.
Yeah, you can always tell the natives when an earthquake hits. Yeah, the natives all sit there and wait for a bit and then take bets on what the Richter scale number is going to be while the others run for the exits and screaming and hollering.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was trying to get to a little bit of explanation of how they're using the National Guard in Albuquerque differently to be more effective. And what they're saying here, city leaders have used the soldiers to bolster what they call civilianization, I guess you'd say, of policing tasks that do not require a badge and a gun. Completing case files to strengthen them. Boy, I can see where police would like that. Every policeman I ever covered when I was a reporter or talked to, the paperwork drives them crazy. Transporting prisoners, monitoring security cameras. Yeah, that's good. Flying surveillance drones. Huh. Oh, yeah, they're probably trained in that. Some of the air nationals, right? Yeah. And directing traffic.
She uses them the way they would be used at foreign locations.
Yeah.
But she's using them in her city. And that gives the police the dangerous work to do.
Yeah.
While they help with all the civilian things that still need to be done.
Yeah. And I suppose that would get around the legal issues, because they're not really I don't know if it gets around it or not. I'd have to really study that.
Yeah,
law.
I would say that gets around the posse comitatus problem because they're not armed.
That would be the difference.
I would think so.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
They are not armed and they're not making arrests.
yeah,
And they're definitely not being quartered in anybody's home.
yeah, right. Well, avoiding negative optics. Yep, I'd say that does that. Yeah, I think what people are opposed to is just when it's just for performance art and show, and then saying they're going to have, Hexeth ordered they could carry their weapons. I mean, those are the kind of things that freaked people out. But this kind of use of the National Guard for that purpose,
and I think that's the problem.
People would support.
What is wrong with ICE? ICE storming in with no ID.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody rolls up in an unmarked van and grabs my child off the street, I'm going to start shooting.
Yeah. Well, that we got our parking space is in the parking lot across the street of a condo building. So we're on their email feed. And this is about the third or fourth time this new immigration policy has sort of tangentially affected me, or not really affected, but I've encountered it. Is we got an email that one of their managers, the desk managers, that ICE came in and arrested him in the building and is deporting him next week. And apparently he was one of their more popular desk managers at this condo, and some of the other people were writing and, all upset about it and what can we do and all that kind of thing. But that's getting close to home. That's across the street.
But so someone might be here illegally, but they might be serving a very popular and necessary function.
Yeah.
And you just can't be ripping them out with no legal action.
Yeah, I mean, I gathered, I never met the guy because I never go in the building. We just have a parking space over there. But I gathered from the email chain that I saw, people really liked the guy, and he was really good about it, taking care of packages, all those kind of things that an apartment building desk or a condo building desk.
Well, I'll tell you one reason your chicken prices are going sky high, because we had a personal thing where my then son-in-law was out of work and they were really hard up, and he took a job on one of these chicken ranches where they're raising the young chickens.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a hard, dirty, smelly job. It's really, really bad. And most of them are filled by undocumented.
Yeah.
Because that's the only people they can get to do it. When you're having to flush out dead baby chickens and all of their poop, it's a rough job. But there has to be a way to get those jobs filled. And Americans won't do it, not for those wages that are rock bottom, barely minimum wage.
Well, look at chicken prices. I did get a package deal on some chicken leg quarters that I barbecued the other day, and but even so, I think
just a few years ago they were like next to nothing.
Now here, this is a sale here, but
yeah, $3 a pound when it used to be less than $1.
Yeah. Now here this family pack here, $3.99 a pound for this family pack of boneless, skinless. Boneless, skinless is usually, but now over here on the left is what I just got. That actually, uh, yeah, that's what $1.99 a pound for these chicken leg quarters. I just got that very package last week and barbecued it. And you know what? They were scrawny. There was not a lot of meat on there. I was kind of fooled at first because they seemed kind of thick, but they had gigantic bones, and and not nearly as much meat as as I had expected for $1.99 a pound. So I don't know what's going on there.
Okay, let's see.
See what's happening in beef. This is the thing that's gone up so much that amazes me because I remember, chuck roast used to be pretty cheap. Good Lord, look at that now. You got $10.99 a pound for chuck, and that's chuck eye, which I think is even lesser quality. But I just remember you could get chuck. I always thought chuck roast was like poor man's meat,
Uh-huh.
But $10.99 is not poor man.
No. Yeah, we just got a 60-pound delivery from our Idaho beef guy. And because we've been with him for so many years, he does that for us because we're basically only a 3-person family.
Yeah, but you got
that's half of his smallest delivery.
Well, you got some big men in there in the family, right? Big eaters.
Yeah, I've got 2 men and me. But anyway, it came in at just a little over $6 a pound for mainly ground beef, roasts, and some steaks. But if I went to the market to buy the same thing, it would be averaging between $9 and $10 a pound, like what you're pulling up here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's and he's so good about bringing it in from Idaho, but he's having his problems with the feds because of grazing lands.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're losing their grazing lands to the big guys because they're being decreased. Yeah. And he says, I'm up against Tyson.
I remember talking to a rancher many years ago in a presidential campaign in one of the key states, probably Iowa, I don't know. And he was saying, and he was talking about the issues of grazing. And he says, it sort of doesn't matter whether there's Republicans or Democrats in charge. He says, because if the Democrats are in charge, they they restrict grazing on any kind of public lands. And when
he was complaining about wolves.
Yeah. And he said that when the Republicans in charge, they let the big corporations take over all the grazing land. He says, so either way, we get screwed.
Well, that was his story. They were losing lands to bears and wolves earlier, and now they're losing them to the big meat producers.
Uh-huh.
And he's been in business we've been dealing with him now for close to 20 years, and he does his best to try and keep prices down for us, bringing him into his own cutter here in Washington and gets them all packaged up really nice for freezing. So we're lucky there. We've got the supplier, but
Yeah. Now here you got this is the Safeway brand eggs that I get. See, 386 for a dozen. I actually, at one point when this came up, I went because with my Safeway account, I can research everything I've paid in the past for everything, you know. And I went back and looked, and this same brand of eggs at Safeway, I looked at the week of Trump's inauguration in January, and this same egg was $2.99 for a dozen, and right now it's $3.86.
And eggs are one thing I'm really fussy about. I want really fresh, free range.
Oh, no, so you're paying the big bucks.
So I'm paying the big bucks, but that price has doubled easily.
Free range. Now, why? What is the deal with you? Just like it because they treat the chickens better? Or?
Well, they treat the chickens better. The eggs are better because the chicken is not stressed.
Oh.
And because they can wander out and just pick anything they want to eat, the flavors are better.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I may be deluding myself, but that's what I've found.
Yeah, here's the organic free range dozen, $7.29 for a dozen.
And that's actually a price drop. They got well over $10 for a while.
This other brand here, Nellie's free range, are a little more.
And it's my way of supporting some of the local businesses, and it's just kind of a thing with me.
Well, one thing I get a lot is ribs, and they've been $3.99. That's I get this extra meat. That's $3.99 a pound. That's acceptable. Well, anyway, but I mean, literally, Trump the other day was asked, and I mean, I'd have to go get the exact words, but it's a fair representation of what he said. That he basically said inflation's gone. We've licked that problem. It's over. And he just thinks he can just say it and people will believe it. But they're going to the store and paying all this money.
And this is one thing where, excuse me, my voice really goes fast. The basket of things that they use to set seniors' cost of living.
Oh, yeah.
It's really messed up. It doesn't include the majority of the things that they're having to pay for.
Oh, really?
So it's kind of a sneaky way of keeping that cost of living low.
Uh-huh.
Where if they really counted the things that seniors pay for, it would be much higher than it is.
Oh, yeah.
But, Social Security payments should be a minimum of $2,000 a month for everybody who's on Social Security. And
how low does it get for some? Because
some it gets really low. I'm sort of moderate because I came in under disability originally. So mine is $1,600 a month.
Huh.
But there's some that are less than that. Mine's slightly below the median.
Huh. I went back and edited a short yesterday from our discussions with Carolyn and then Maggot Man Tony, and it's so funny after you have these chats, you know, when you go back in and look at, well, I have a little automatic generator to generate shorts from the things, and you go back and look at people's faces and the look when Maggot Man was talking about the Comey case and just spitting out all this stuff, you know, just wild haired ideas. The look on Carolyn's face when he was talking, I can almost make a whole video of that. Just her face when he was talking.
Yeah, right now the average Social Security, and of course, you know, with averages, there's a whole lot higher and a whole lot lower, is 2002. So I'm $400 a month lower than the average.
Yeah, I'm in the 2000s. I can't remember exactly what, but it's in the 2000s.
Yeah,
because a lot of my work I didn't have withholding. So I was doing whatever you're legally supposed to do, but a lot of my work in my most productive earning years was contract work, you know. And so I don't know if I paid the same or paid less or paid more, you know, into Social Security, if that affected what I get now. But I'm somewhere in the 2000 area. What's the most people can get, I wonder? I have no idea. For somebody on Social Security, I know very little about it.
Yeah, the roughly monthly cost of living right now is between $3,500 and $4,500, depending on state. So if you're looking at a senior with an average income of $2,000, they're running $1,000 below the cost of living.
Oh, huh.
And that's what's hurting a whole lot of households, because you frequently have 2 or 3 generations in the same household.
Yeah.
We're getting back to what it was like in the 1940s, where you are having homes with multiple generations.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that really wasn't all that bad.
I watched a documentary recently about, was it Vienna? I think it was either Vienna, maybe it was Amsterdam. Anyway, one of the big European cities where living in the city in the inner, you know, is so expensive. And it was interesting, all these families that, I think it was Amsterdam, and there was this one family that they profiled where each generation, it was like a 4-story house. I think one of those narrow little houses in Amsterdam, right, that are real high, and had 5 floors, and there were like, I think four generations. There was like a generation on each floor of the same family.
Well, in Fresno, they have these old homes, and you can tell them they've got like a long porch, and there's 4 doors.
Oh.
And you wonder, why are there 4 doors? It's because the doors on the end go to a home. The doors in the middle climb stairs and reach a second and a third story. And that's the way they pack exactly what you're describing, packing the generations in, each with their private entrance, but multiple families.
Hey, I just realized we had Dungan was in comments. I can't stay focused on remembering to take a look at comments when we're on, and I missed her. Looks like she had to leave, but She wrote, "Loving the shirt." Oh, I remember that she said she had been an Imus fan. And then she said, "Now that scares me. The military doing civilian oversight is a non-starter. Dungon's not impressed with." She's not convinced the Albuquerque.
But they're not without oversight. They are being directed by the governor and the police. They're, what Trump is doing is them oversight.
Yeah, I'm just.
Oh, we've had Don gone before.
Yeah, I enjoyed her a lot, and I guess we spooked her. I don't know, but I thought she was great, and she pops in the comments all the time, and I keep asking her to come back. So sorry, sometimes I forget to look at comments. Anyway, I'm just going to put the link back here. Join us in chat at. I know that people get shy.
Tell them to pop in on the feed long enough to say, "I'm here. I'll be lurking in comments."
Yeah. Yeah. The comment thing is kind of off to the side here. And,
right.
And there's so many other buttons to track that I just can't. I'd like it better if they scrolled the comments on the bottom of the screen here that I'm actually looking at. And then you actually have to click a different tab to see it. So anyway,
maybe
here is a cool thing
on the scrolling down at the bottom.
Oh yeah, yeah, I definitely play with that. Here's a new feature they've added on this StreamYard. Is this see that barcode there?
Right.
They let you create barcodes for any site, and so you can put your phone up there with your camera and take a picture of it, and it'll take you straight to trail mix. That's the trail mix barcode right there. Actually, this one goes straight to our chat room page, so it'll take people straight to the page where they can just click a button and join us. I cannot have made this any easier for people. I don't think. I don't know. I made it pretty easy to join these chats, and we're gradually getting folks, but it's been a slower process than I expected.
Let's see what our gang is talking about over on your page. Blue is up. Oh,
is Blue up?
Yeah, she's up with Lisa Murkowski in the news about it.
Let me see. See if I can get her to come back on. She came on. I'll say, I'm going to say it's safe to get in the chat room, folks. Maggot Man is not here. I think when we've got Carolyn on, I think I'm going to have to not let him on.
Yeah.
Because I don't think she enjoyed him very much. She just took off after a while. I mean, it's hard to keep patient with those folks because, he also gets into the comments on my YouTube also and just goes on and on and on. He writes comments as long as his monologues too.
Well, that's what I said. It's sort of like trying to train a new puppy and keep the newspaper for nose swatting in your hand at all times.
Yeah. I remember that's literally how my dad trained hunting dogs. I mean, for himself, not professionally or anything. And that's what he always used. He had a rolled up newspaper, and that's how he trained them when they did good and when they did bad. He had like a treat in one hand and a newspaper, rolled up newspaper in the other, and it was funny. And like he said, you could tell which dogs were the smartest because it depended on how quickly they picked up on that. This hand is good, this hand is bad. You do this and you get this hand. You do this, you get this hand, and pretty soon they figure it out, and some quicker than others, which is how you know who's smart, who's not. Oh, there's Blue. Well, now I hit add to stage, and she didn't show up. I don't know what the deal is with her and her phone.
Doesn't she say her phone just overheats really fast? Or
yeah, she did. But I just saw that she was here, and I clicked add to stage, and then she disappeared. So I don't know. Maybe I clicked the wrong thing. There she is again. Okay, add to stage. There you are. You there, Blue? Blue? Hello?
So, hello. I can't stay because I can't hear it out of either ear now. They said there was nothing wrong with the one I had that I couldn't hear out of, and they flushed the other one, and now I can't hear out of it either. So,
Well, I don't understand that. Are you?
so now
Are
I'm
you
in a
using,
tunnel.
Are you using earbuds? Or are you using
No,
earbuds?
I don't use. Nope, almost never. Almost never use earbuds
So you're talking about the
because they were
speaker,
charged.
the speaker in your phone.
No, I'm
no,
talking
she's
about my
saying she's
actual
deaf.
ears.
Oh, this whole time. I thought your issue was your phone that you couldn't hear from you. Oh, I
No,
forgot. Yeah. You got the
I
wire
can't.
in here.
Yeah, so I can hear you sort of out of what what was the good ear yesterday before I went to the doctor, and they made it, and they screwed it up. So anyway,
What did they do?
they flushed out they said my left ear looked good, and they flushed out the right one, and then I couldn't hear out of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I was a
Yeah,
child,
and
they actually had to slice through my eardrum to get the
oh
infection,
god,
and that
oh
hurts
gosh.
like
Well, I
hell.
don't have any. They just gave me prednisone. I don't have an infection. It's just yeah, it's crazy. But anyway,
But
so
they did
I
but
can
they did say your eardrum is intact. You don't have a perforation
yep,
in the eardrum.
yep, yep.
If,
No,
if,
everything looks good. So
well,
I don't know what's
that's
going on. But
important
anyway,
for the long run. Then you'll be okay eventually if your eardrum's all right.
yeah.
I just know that from
Yeah,
personal experience. Oh.
yeah. Hey, so I just posted something about I did not know that Ghislaine Maxwell apparently had a husband and that
I
Lisa
remember
Murkowski
that, but
apparently
I don't
has.
know anything. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. What did
Well,
you
he
say?
had a maritime business that he stepped down from, but he had connections with Lisa Murkowski in Alaska, apparently, and she had connections with Ghislaine Maxwell. I posted a video. I don't have any corroboration for what they're saying there. They've got some images on there, and then I posted a, a link about her husband, about his background. But it's like everything's tied. So many connections.
Yeah, I'm just pulling it up.
But
And
yeah, so it gets more and more interesting.
okay, let's see.
But at least we're going to find
Yeah,
out what happened to Amelia Earhart.
I know, isn't that amazing? I mean, I love the British press, the European press in general. They just don't fall for Trump's tricks. And the headline on the Independent was, it starts with, "In another distraction from the Epstein files, Trump announced they're going to release the Amelia Earhart." And it's like our media just does not do that. They don't just draw those connections like they do over there. And it's like they just immediately tied it to the weapons of mass distraction.
Well,
Yep.
speaking
Okay,
of
so
that
here it is.
and the kind of rabbit holes I follow, I spotted that and immediately went into the whole history of Pancho Barnes and the Happy Riding Club and the air base where the sound barrier was broken. And the whole movie, The Right Stuff. I ended up doing a whole blog article on Pancho Barnes.
Yeah, here it is. Miss Maxwell's husband is reportedly millionaire tech CEO and former Coast Guard officer. Very connected to the Trump details. I remembered there was a husband. I don't remember, but I didn't know anything about him. So what is the significance of all this?
They have it's tied to Lisa Murkowski. It's like, why did she vote no? Because it seems to be maybe
Oh,
there's some financial ties there with the people in Alaska and Mr. Borgeson's company, and I don't know. It was very tenuous, but it was like there's something there. I don't know what it is exactly. It needs some actual journalism, I think, but it was interesting.
now this
But
is
anyway, that's
is this video here about that, or is this something else?
the first one is, I don't know what you're in now. The very first one is.
I'm in the Independent newspaper
No,
site.
it's not in the Independent. No, it's not in the Independent. It's above it. It's above it.
Oh, it's in your.
Yeah, there's two links on that page. There's another one above it. No, I don't know that you can't. I don't know why you can't see it.
Lisa
It's right above, because it's above where I posted Lisa. It's in the blank space. You can't see it for some reason.
Oh yeah, that's blank.
I don't know why you can't see it. There's a YouTube there though.
There it is. Okay, here we go.
These photos change everything we know about why the Epstein files were not released a few weeks ago when there was a vote in the Senate. It shows Senator Lisa Murkowski, a Republican from Alaska, at a forum with Ghislaine Maxwell and her husband, Scott Borgeson. You may have missed this because it was on the same day that Charlie Kirk died, but Senator Murkowski was the deciding vote not to release the Epstein files. So we wanted to understand why she would vote against this. And we spent weeks finding out exactly what her connections were to Jeff.
No, wait a second. I did not know this, that Murkowski was the pivotal vote on blocking the Epstein files. Now, see, I missed that. I didn't know that. Huh.
Epstein. And what we found was a tangled web of connections in Alaska, the senator's home state. In fact, it all comes down to power and a series of meetings and events where they talked about the Arctic Circle and they lobbied and tried to expand it, which would obviously help Alaska and Ghislaine Maxwell's husband, who was doing a lot of business, maritime business in the Arctic Circle. There's also a connection to a wealthy Murkowski donor, Alice Rogoff, who just so happened to be Ghislaine Maxwell's friend and the owner of the Alaska Dispatch. So how Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein are connected to Murkowski just pretty much explains how Washington works and why these survivors have been waiting around for so many years for answers. And maybe this holds the key as to whether or not they'll finally get the answers. It certainly explains how insidious Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's connections were to power. You can check out my latest report at tarapalmieri.com, or you can go to the link in my bio where you can read this investigative piece on the Red Letter.
Boy, Tara has done a great job on her own. Tara Palmer, I go to her site quite a bit for Epstein news in particular. She's really been on top, but she goes back a ways. She's been a great investigative reporter in Washington for a long time. For her age, I don't know.
I don't know some of these people, so then I'm always like, okay, are they just pulling it out of the air? I did not know that she was actually an investigative reporter. So
yeah,
I feel better now that I posted.
I do. I think she's very credible. I'm blanking right now. I'm blanking on her background, which papers I remember her working at. But she has really been. She totally gets in the weeds of this Epstein story. And these videos she makes are very. Let's see. What was her career? Okay, she went to Politico. Yeah, Politico. I remember Politico. Oh, she goes all the way back to page 6 at New York Post. And, oh, no, this is a badge of honor. Sean Spicer called her an idiot with no real sources. Well, that means she's a good journalist, if that's what Sean Spicer said.
Sometimes I post stuff and I just really don't know what the background is. And I thought maybe this was one of them. So I feel better now.
Yeah, she was at ABC. Yeah, I mean, she's bopped around quite a bit. Puck, that's what I was trying to remember. The last thing before she went out on her own for this YouTube site, that she was at Puck, which is they're particularly good at covering the Hill. She's always really good at covering the Hill. She had a lot of great sources on Capitol Hill. And then, March of 2025, she moved on to this YouTube. She's a case of where I think the future is for young journalists is, particularly in this fascist captured age of media, is just start your own damn YouTube channel and sell subscriptions if you can, get donations, whatever, and create your own cottage industry. And that's what a lot of them are doing. That's what Jim Acosta's trying to do right now. I don't know how it's working, but.
Yeah, I'm on free subscription for a lot of them, but they're paid. They're going in really cheap, $5 or $10 a month. But you mount up enough of those $5 subscriptions, and you're talking about a hell of a lot of money, either being paid or.
You just got to scale it. God, one of the first. That I noticed doing this many years when Glenn Beck got bounced from Fox, he went out on his own and created his own streaming channel and was charging $9.99 a month. And at the time I thought, is that really gonna? That man, and I think his first year pulled in like $10 million, and now it's like $90 million a year from.
And that's what you should be doing.
Yeah. Yeah, but then it would be work.
But maybe charge $1 a month to listen to us rattle on about.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Then we could all treat ourselves to a trip to Vegas.
Love to do that again, except this time make it my happy place of Monterey.
Yeah. Oh, I remember we got worked up years ago. One point we were all going to go to Monterey, and we kind of that didn't happen. Well, that was a good catch, Blue. Tara Palmieri is a good one to follow on this Epstein case. I've noticed. Is Blue still there?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, listening to you guys talk about it, I went back to my own blog articles and the way you use AI now. Back in 2007, I wrote a love letter to Google.
Oh.
Which is basically where AI now is, that everybody's using.
What is the address of your blog?
Oh,
you're still updating it regularly?
No, not really anymore. I should go back to that, but here, let's see if I can.
But anyway, now one thing, Blue, I haven't drilled into is there was something they released from the Epstein committee, from the oversight committee. I think the Democrats released something about a log from the Epstein estate that in the records that they gave the oversight committee showing Elon Musk and Prince Andrew. And what was that story? Did you follow that story?
I did, and I can't remember at the moment all of the details of it. I'll post there's a really good article on it though. I'll post it. It will speak like better of it than I can. Huh?
It didn't sound like any bombshells, just that Elon.
No, we knew
anything new.
We knew that they were all connected. There was one, YouTube I saw a long time ago of a woman who said that Peter Thiel was at Epstein's place in Arizona or New Mexico, Rancho Zorro or something like that. He
Yeah, I
has a
remember
ranch
they
out
had a
there.
place.
And she was drugged, and it was like Peter Thiel was like doing lab experiments. And I was like, I just don't really know what to believe anymore, because I don't, if they drugged her, but what was going on? I mean, he's the one that he purportedly gets infusions of blood or plasma on the regular from younger people, because he's trying to live forever. He
Live
looks like
forever.
hell. They all look so much older than they are. Every one of them.
Peter
It's
Thiel,
crazy.
man. I mean, and he's the Svengali for JD Vance, Peter Thiel. I mean,
Yeah.
Peter Thiel, but that's the whole reason JD Vance got anywhere. I mean, I'll give him credit. He got himself into Yale and so on. But after that, I mean, the only reason he got made any money was somehow Peter Thiel picked him up as a employee and set him up in business, and I don't know what that.
Yeah, the whole deal is very weird. But anyway, I'm gonna bop out because it's bugging me to try to hear here. So I'm gonna go back to reading.
Well, did they give you an actual diagnosis for what you're dealing with?
I've got an appointment in a month.
See, ears
I can't get another appointment for a month. So
I just went through ear hassles I'm like Jamie. In my childhood, they had to put tubes in my ears to get the infection out, and I've just had ear issues my whole life, and
I never have, and I haven't had an infection either. It's just
they're tricky.
I don't know. Yeah, allergies, I guess, that started it, but now it seems to be something else. So anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go because I can't. I'm gonna go back to reading, and I'll see if I can find
I just want to plug
article.
Tomorrow at 2:30, I'm going to do something very exciting. I am going to cover we get the exit polls on the Moldovan parliamentary elections tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, wow.
And the reason I'm
covering
that, because it's really more important than it sounds, because Putin is trying to take over Moldova, which is adjacent to Romania and Poland and Ukraine and everything. He's trying to take it over through their parliamentary elections, and which he's trying to do all over Europe. But this is where he's getting very close. And the president of Moldova is very pro-Western, trying to get him almost begging to get into the EU. And our, and Biden administration was very supportive. Tony Blinken even went there at one point, and Trump has just gone silent, and so they're just now open to all of this election rigging that's going on by the Russians in their election. So anyway, I'm just really rooting for them to hang on, the pro-Western coalition, because if they don't, it's a bad sign for where things are headed. So that's my pitch.
So how are you doing an exit poll?
Well, I'm not doing it. I'm set up to, I've got all the sites that are going to be covering it live. Like the Polish TV channel is great. The Polish TV channel, they're just like the it's the government channel in Poland, but they are the anti-Putin place to go in European television, and BBC is going to cover it, and I think CNN will probably cover it. So there'll be plenty of sources I can share on the screen of the results, but I'm going to get into that tomorrow at 2:30 when the results are supposed to start. The exit polls.
All right, I'll be watching. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right. And I got to get ready for brunch, Jamie. Pretty soon we're going to brunch.
Okay. I put up on your blog the post I did about my love letter to Google, and the other one, the exact address of my blog. And I promise I'll start writing on it again.
Yeah, let me see it. Let me pull it up here. Go down to the bottom. And I make these screens so big. See, we got there. Oh, that's. Oh, I'm looking at the.
You need to update.
I'm on a different thing. I need to scroll up further.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even get into today's
into the comments. Yeah. There you go.
You know, that's one thing. But I've always wanted to see this little comment button here. It's always bugged me that if somebody isn't familiar with the site, the only way you know how to get into comments, or two ways really, is to either click the headline of the article, or this tiny little comment button right here. And I have gone for years. I have gone round and round trying to find anything where you could make the comment button more prominent, and I just haven't been able to find that. Because I think it's kind of hard to realize but I guess enough people are savvy about websites to realize that's where you would click to go to comments. But now I'm not seeing, you got something posted here?
Yeah, right at the bottom of the comments.
I see Blues. Let me refresh. Am I still not in the right place? Oh, I'm still not in the right place. Okay, I got to get further up. There it is. Okay, there it is. There's your.
Yeah, there's my address.
jdurward.blogspot.com. Yeah, I'll save that and put it somewhere. Oh, wow. Is that your family?
That's my, the gentleman third on the top row is my grandfather.
The one in the middle?
Yes, right there. Middle of the top row. That's my grandfather.
Oh.
And down here on the bottom, second one in from the right, is my great-grandmother.
Huh.
Those are the children that managed to survive to adulthood. She had 13 pregnancies and got 9 of them up.
Yeah, isn't that how it was in those days? I mean,
right.
They would have a lot of children for two reasons: to have workers in their farm, and because you had such a high loss rate, you had to have a lot of children in order to have a net gain.
But all of them eventually settled in the United States. That particular photo was taken before they started breaking up to head out of Scotland.
Oh, this photo is in Scotland?
Yes, that photo is in Scotland before all the children started peeling off. And she eventually, my great-grandmother, eventually came over with some of the children. And
wow, look at there how big I can make it here, that so you can really see them all. Where in Scotland is this?
Yes, it was taken about 1924.
But where in Scotland?
Oh, where in Scotland? I believe at the time they were most of them were living in Edinburgh.
Yeah. Well, they just look like they look like ladies and gentlemen, very ladies and gentlemen, sophisticated people.
They were basically very good, hardworking people. You know, but unfortunately they got here leaving poverty behind, only to get here in time for the Great Depression. So
now, are you saying these people right here were living in poverty? They don't look it.
No, they were. They all had good jobs, but the economy was starting to fail, so and it was all in the lead up. Oh, that was the most recent article I did. Those are my parents. That's my dad.
That's your parents. Oh, yeah. And that's, of course, where is this in the U.S.?
That was in Fresno. They were at a kind of family reunion. on my uncle's raisin ranch, and you can't tell it, but that slight bump under their arms is me.
Oh, really? Let's see if we this is Jamie right here.
Me. Yeah, that's me right there. And up here is where I was born, in Los Angeles.
Oh, that looks like a storefront.
Yeah, well, it is. That's when they used to have all of the apartments above the stores.
Oh, these are apartments up here.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And that's where you were born.
This entrance on the right is how you got up to the apartments.
And as you're saying, that's where you were born in 1944. Right. Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know. Was I supposed to say the year? Well, you put it on there. I had to say it. And this is you right here.
That's me right there. In my
I've got a picture. I've got an old picture of my mother. That's Shirley Temple, isn't it? Is that the Shirley Temple look?
Kind of, except I had very straight hair.
But I've got a picture of my mom whose hair looks, in fact, it's almost a duplicate. I mean, her hair and that bow on top, and even the dress, I've got a picture of her that looks exactly like that.
Anyway, that's with my Aunt Ruth, who I spent off and on throughout my childhood.
Oh. Aunt Ruth.
And that's Hammer Field in Fresno, where my dad was stationed before he got reassigned into Arizona and New Mexico, with the split up between the Army and the Air Corps.
Huh. Well, I want to come back to this. I just think that's a cool.
It's a great family picture.
That really is. It really is. And then this one right here is your great-grandfather, you say?
No, grandfather.
Right here. That's your grandfather.
Yeah. And I've got a postcard from him after he came to the U.S., where he was what they called a minor oversman, which is the guy who mainly stays on top at the mines to direct activities.
Oh.
But the postcard he wrote as being in a suit in California as being a whole lot different than his dirty mine clothes.
Oh, I see. Huh. Well, that was enjoyable. I think that's fun to go through people's blogs and photos. We'll make that a thing. We'll do that. We'll do that with some others. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get ready to go to brunch.
Well, go have a lovely meal, and maybe we'll talk later this afternoon.
Yeah, this was fun, and
okay.
And we'll. But don't forget about the Moldovan parliamentary elections tomorrow at 2:30 right here on Trail Mix.
Let's see, 11:30 my time. Okay.
Okay.
You have a good one, Craig. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Okay, I'm Lady MawMaw, Craig's built-in emergency brake. If this wasn't enough for you, sign up for the newsletter. It's free, it's thoughtful, and it occasionally makes sense.